Kara back in Las Vegas at the PCA show, taking She Smokes 2 on the road. I'm very excited for our next guest. This is Raquel Quesada with Quesada Cigars. She was very generous to bring me a cigar. Do you want to tell everybody what we're smoking today?
Hello everyone, I'm Raquel Quesada from Quesada Cigars, as Kara said, and today we're smoking in Casa Magna, Connecticut. It's an extension of a Casa Magna Colorado line that we launched in 2008, and it got #1 cigar of the year for us. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It turned our world around.
Yeah.
And after that, we've had a few extension lines, and this is one of it. It was created to have the same essence of the Casa Magna Colorado. With all Nicaraguan tobaccos, but this one is a Connecticut Ecuador wrapper.
Okay.
An Ecuador seed, a Connecticut seed grown in Ecuador. And I always say in my Instagram and my social media that this is just not your typical Connecticut.
Okay.
It has a little kick to it.
Yeah.
You know, because you always think about Connecticut a little milder.
Right.
And then this follows through the more you smoke, and then it has like this kick to it.
Oh,
So.
good. Well, I'm excited. I love a good Connecticut, but it's always fun when things aren't exactly what you expect them to be.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the perfect expression of it.
You said before we started rolling that Casa Magna is 15 years old,
Yes,
right?
yes. We are celebrating 15 years of the Casa Magna Colorado. Somebody just at the booth was saying earlier that that's not like a typical thing, like where you have a brand and still 15 years,
right.
You have so many extension lines. And we keep on getting like all these different awards on the Casa Magna. That is impressive.
Yeah.
And they were asking like, is that like a normal thing? It's like, it's not at all. You know,
Right.
you have a brand and then it's 15 years and you still get all these awards and all these like recognitions for it.
Right.
It's amazing. So we're celebrating 15 years, and for the PCA we have a new cigar that is Casa Magna 15th anniversary. It's all, as I said, also with the same essence of Casa Magna, which is like more on the bolder side, fuller body. And it has also the Nicaraguan tobaccos, but this one we decided to use the Havana 2000 Ecuador wrapper.
Okay.
Beautiful wrapper, beautiful presentation.
Yeah.
It comes in boxes of 15 because we're celebrating 15 years.
Oh, that's great.
So 15 cigars in a box.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's been amazing for us.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, winning Cigar Aficionado's Cigar of the Year is a huge honor, and it's
You don't
absolutely something
even
you should be proud of.
understand.
Yeah. No,
your world turns 365 degrees.
In a good way.
Degrees, in a good way.
Yeah. Did it create any challenges for you guys?
Well, it did, because like suddenly you come to PCA, you launch a cigar, and then in January, that was like summer, and then January comes the award,
Right.
and then everything turns out like you have to produce so many cigars, but then you have a quality
Right.
standard that you can't sell cigars without, the fermentation,
Right.
the aging process, and everything. So it's very, very challenging. But let me tell you something. People were very, very great to us, that they understood, the process and all the standards that we have as a company and as a
Right.
family. My father's very rigorous on that. And somebody was telling me about it. Oh my God, all these cigars. I'm like, you don't understand. Sometimes I'm like, why don't we just like, be a little bit more? And he's like, no. And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. Because all the cigars, nothing is perfect, but
Right.
we're very, very close to perfection. It's like
Right.
everything has to be like color-wise, draw, the burn,
Right.
how the cigar makers do their thing. Everything has, we're so on top of that.
Yeah.
That it's like almost perfect.
Right, and it's a blend that's obviously a winner.
Yes.
So you want to make sure that you're delivering that blend consistently. And people always get that same.
Like consumers, they know what they're smoking.
Right.
They want to feel like if you smoke one today and 6 months after, you're smoking the same exact cigar that you remember.
Right.
Because it's all in your head, and then you have to cope with that thing you have from before. So
Right.
you have to be on top of that.
You have to meet that standard.
Yes.
Yeah. When that's something that I think a lot of people don't understand, that we talk about a lot at JC Newman, is that just because your demand goes up doesn't mean your production can match it immediately.
Exactly.
Because cigars are in the pipeline for years between all of the processes that they have to go through, that you can't if your demand spikes because you get Cigar of the Year, you can't just
let me
shoot.
tell you something, and I remember there has been cases that happens, and then you have to like withdraw all the cigars from the market, and then you have to start all over again, and that's not what you want. That's not what your consumers are expecting of you, since you have all this reputation, and all these quality standards. then you don't want that to happen. You want to make it right on the right time with the right, process.
Well, and I think that comes from, I would assume that comes from the history that your family has in the industry. Like you guys know that you survive long term and through generations by quality and consistent products.
Yes. Let me tell you, it's not easy being on a family business. Like that generation of my father is very strict. I mean, my father came from Cuba. They had to leave Cuba because of the political situation.
Right.
They come to Dominican Republic because my grandfather already had businesses because we were leaf brokers at the beginning. We were not manufacturers.
Okay.
So now we also are, we're going to be next year 50 years in the manufacturing business.
It's amazing.
Yes. So my father started in Dominican Republic without nothing, Then he had to go to Vietnam. So a lot of things happening at the same time. My dad always was the one, like the master blender, how they call it. So he would do all the blending, and he would give me this little paper because he's like a paper guy. He doesn't like all these. He's like the old school.
Yeah, he's old school.
So he would write it down in a little paper. So we were at this huge facility at the time. That was about like 10 years ago. And he gives me the paper, I go, and I tweak the whole thing. I change the whole blend. So I came back with the cigars, and I put them in the desk, and I ran. So we had a speaker at that time, like he would go, Raquel Quesada 231, which was like the extension line. I was like, oh my God.
I messed up.
I'm dead. So he goes like, what did you do to my blend? I'm like, well, I did a little tweaking on the blending. And he goes like, well, let me tell you something. This is a really good blend, and you're a winner. It's a winner. And the boxes came out saying Raquel, made by Manuel and Raquel Quesada. So that was like something that we're very grateful for because he gave me the opportunity. Because maybe somebody else would have said like, no, this is only me, whatever. So he gave me the opportunity to, like, be a star.
Yeah, I think
on his.
It's that's a beautiful story about family though, because even if he's hard on you and he has high expectations for you, he still trusts.
Yes,
and he gave you that opportunity.
And then like that, I have like other stories. Like on the 35th anniversary of the factory, he never wanted the Quesada name to be on a brand because he said it was a lot of, responsibility, your name under a brand. And he never wanted. So my sister used to work with me at that time, and my cousin too. And he used to call the young ones. The young ones. So the young ones at that time decided that they were going to make a cigar with the Quesada name. Okay. Named Quesada 35th Anniversary. Okay. So we planned this really big event in New York, and he had no clue of what we were doing. So when the time came, we had this beautiful trays with the Quesada 35th Anniversary. Oh my gosh. I thought he was going to freaking flip. So we made a certain amount of boxes at that time. We went to PCA and we sold them in one day, all of them. So like story by story, like step by step, I think I'm never going to fill in his shoes because they're really big. But I learn from him every day, and he gives me the opportunity, to shine as he shines and I shine, and we together make a great team. Yeah.
Well, and my takeaway from that is that you bring something unique.
Exactly.
You're not going to do it exactly the way he did.
Like the social media thing, he never understood. I think he's to the point.
He's a paper guy.
He still doesn't understand. Like, why do you have to dress up? Why do you have to have makeup on in the middle of La Galera, which is the place where all the cigar makers are? And I'm like walking around with all these like. And then he's like, oh my God. But now he's like, more and more he understands. And since it's been like it's been great for me. Right. Now he kind of gives me a little bit more credit.
Maybe he doesn't understand it, but
he gives me the credit. And then he's like, and then when I as I said, like my social media, okay, and he's like, okay. Now I understand why. So more and more he's coping to the idea that, and I'm very grateful. Yeah, he's teaching you the legacy, and you're helping him grow. Yes, it's a good balance. That's great.
Yeah. Well, Raquel, this was amazing.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you so much
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yes, thank you for the cigar. I really enjoyed this. It's my first time having it, and it's a really, really
thank
great
you so
cigar.
much. Casablanca, Connecticut.
Yes, I will definitely have more of these.
Thank you, Karen.
Yes.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Everybody, please if you don't follow her, check out Raquel Quesada.
Official.
And try their cigars; they're amazing, especially this Casa Magna. And thank you for joining us today. And we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you.